We are standing here today in July 2021, remembering the 4th, 6th, 7th Bomb Group who served here 1944 to 1945. This is their group insignia. On the bonnet of our vehicle, we have the insignia of each of the 4 bomb groups: the 788th, the 789th, the 790th and the 791st. Below that, again, we have the group insignia. We are just at the start of the private path that would have taken us, and did indeed take Colonel Shower and Lieutenant Colonel James Mahoney to their domestic quarter. And here we have arrived at the White House. As you can see, it's something of a ruin today, but it was the former quarters of Colonel Albert Shower and Lieutenant Colonel James Mahoney. It is something of a ruin today. We have got a security fence around it to protect it, but in due course we are somewhat determined to restore it with your help. These first 2 rooms were occupied by Lieutenant Colonel James Mahoney, Brian Mahoney's father. And you can see the undergrowth and indeed the ivy which inhabits these rooms at the moment. But we have cut the bases of the roots, and progressively the ivy is dying back, and very shortly we intend to remove it when it's safe to do so, and dig out all the undergrowth, and that will be the start of the preservation of the building. And here we have arrived at the far end of the White House, where the 2 senior officers, after a grueling day, often flying deep into Germany and on other missions, would have returned, would have showered, would have dressed in Class A uniforms, and together they would have walked along their private path. We have now arrived at the Officers' Club, which was called the Sword and Chain. We are standing at the main entrance to the club, where both the senior officers would have entered, and on my left all the other officers would have come from their domestic quarters somewhere in Rackheath, Parkland, and they would have walked the long path and would have followed in as well. Immediately in front of us, you can see that we are reinstating the pathway that was completely destroyed by the vast tree trunk, which we have had to dig out, light a sizable fire under it, and over many weeks have burnt the route away. in order to winch it out, and bit by bit replace the broken concrete path. We haven't completed it, but it's well on the way for the grand reopening. This is the fantastic grand fireplace, one of two that the Pathfinders have discovered. This one they knew about. The second one at the far end was only recently discovered. And here we have the front of the White House. And as we come round, we have one of 6 blast shelters. They have all been covered, filled with soil. Over the years, trees have grown up from them, and indeed dense undergrowth. Some of our volunteers, over many months, every Saturday, have dedicated themselves to restoring it. Literally, tons of earth have been dug out. I hope you have enjoyed this brief tour of Site 6 and the work of the Pathfinder group that we formed late February 2020, and one day I'm sure you will come and see for yourselves. In the meantime, thank you.